To me.
To me.
Well, we're done with Game of Seven Kingdoms. So now all we have is Hijack.
Yeah. We're going to spend a whole app talking about
Season
Hijack.
2, Episode 7, which we watched 2.5 weeks ago.
Sure. Sounds right.
What happened?
What happened? Well, they're still on the train.
They're still on the train.
However, that train has been cut in half.
They cut.
So
They
are on
Was it
half
this
the
ep
train.
they cut it in half? I believe it was this
I
ep.
believe it was.
And what a dramatic scene that was, where we lost the good guy / bad guy that we had not enough information to care about.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's par for the course. We ended episode 6 with a gunshot. We didn't know what had happened. And then we start episode 7 to see that
She is shot.
Jess is shot. And I believe
Is
Sam
her name
is...
Jess? You remember that?
Her name is Jess.
Wow.
And Sam is grazed too, I believe.
That sounds familiar.
He not hurt badly. He still does look like he has full range of motion, but Jess is not going to be
Jess is not
long for the world.
Yeah, she's not doing so good. Which is not a good thing because she's responsible for not blowing up the train.
Right, which being on the train, you don't want them to do.
Some other things that are revealed, we do find out that, of course, that British Secret Service is, in fact, the bad guy. Did he kill the guy in the previous episode, though? I feel like he did. He had that struggle in the, they went off into some little miniature train station spot.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That was the previous episode, right?
I think so.
Yeah, because I think it starts with him kind of coming out of there. Because the special forces are talking about how they're going to move to another location, and they're like, "We're just going without you," because the guy isn't responding on the camera, on the thing. He is obviously yelling at the lady, kind of like he's in direct contact with Jess on the train, and he's saying, "You need to get this under control, or I'm just going to blow up the whole thing. No witnesses." Which I feel like at this point he should have just done. It seems like the whole thing about these gangsters running such a tight ship is not really fitting with what's going on this season. And then we see that he gives away, I guess the guy he's trying to help escape, the gangster from the first season, didn't know that he was trying to help him, but he led him on to that.
In the jail?
Yeah, the guy who had been driven all around, who's supposed to get on this train. He doesn't really know why he's getting on this train. But
did we start with him in jail this ep?
No, he was already out because he was already being escorted. They were driving him to the train.
So the prison scenes and the secret soaps, that was episode 6?
The prison scenes are the hijacker. So we saw our detective boyfriend, I assume fiance at this point, interviewing the original hijacker and trying to get out of him that he's involved in the plan. I don't think he is involved in the plan, but they're trying to get information from him, and it's not working. And then the other thing that's going on this entire time is the wife, Sam's ex-wife, is out in the woods and trying to make an escape.
I want to say her name is Marcia. Does that ring?
No,
not Marcia.
Isn't Marcia the name of the lady in Dark? Her name in Dark, and that's why we keep saying that.
That'd be funny.
I feel like that's more spot on, but I'll look it up as we talk about this.
Yeah, she's in the woods. She's being pursued by a couple of people and a couple of dogs, and so she has to try and figure out a way to outsmart these dogs in the freezing temperatures. And I say both of those things together because she takes off her coat.
She does. She uses it to hide. Well, she uses it to... She does get to high ground, and she is able to make a phone call.
Yep. So she calls in
Writes a message for Sam.
To let Sam know not to allow the bad guys to use her as a collateral.
they realize that he had snuck a message off in the baby bottle, which I don't know what that. I think wasn't it that somebody else killed the bicyclist, Freddie? Wow, of all the names I remember, wow, she's not even listed in the top cast of the show.
Well, you are looking across both seasons there, right?
Yeah, but you think she would be top cast. She's the wife and pretty pivotal to the story.
I mean, I'd argue how pivotal she is. When you say pivotal, what do you mean by that?
I mean, she's the centerpiece of she's obviously not in the show a whole bunch, but she's kind of his entire motivation. And I'm looking at a very specific episode. There she is. Seriously, not top cast.
Well, anyway, the train starts to not work so good. It's running out of power. It's pulling too much weight. So they realize it's actually two trains hooked together.
One of the trains is dragging because of the explosion.
Okay.
And that's the part they're trying to cut off.
So the episode ends with them decoupling the train. And then Sam does have to do some negotiation.
That's the first time he gets to show his superpower.
He does get it, and that's the first time that it kind of echoed back to season 1 of Hijack. That seemed like a scene out of that first season that's kind of been missing from this one, because he has to convince the police there, I don't remember their specific branch, but the authorities there not to just shoot him as he waves bye-bye, and off they go down wherever the tracks lead, which again is a predictable location. Boy, you really want to find this out.
I do. It's bothering me that she's not listed. Oh, it is Marshall. Look at you.
Okay, well, all that time, you could have just believed your friend.
I can't believe you. Because you're a lying liar who lies.
Sometimes I play jokes. That's different.
It's just a little joke, man. There was more that happened. There's also the detective who arrests the guy on the plane, who was the one who built the explosives. So we get that little piece of the mystery. I know up to this point I've been telling you that the most compelling character and storyline is that detective, but I think this episode, the winner of most compelling piece of this story was Marcia in the Woods. And I won't even say that is like an impressive feat, but that was the most interesting piece of the story, was them trying to hunt her down in the woods. Though, what I don't get is why don't they let the dogs go?
Are you interesting or compelling?
It's the most compelling. It's
I'm not gonna. I don't know if it's interesting, but it was the most compelling. It was well shot. It was there was some tension there. It was very easy to follow and understand what's going on.
Like, even the most tense scene of the entire episode was when they're trying to unlock the train and he has to reconvince the lady to let him split the train off. And the stakes were high, but the explanation about why she changed her mind and all that just didn't really make a whole lot of sense. And it was just like some friction for friction's sake.
Yeah, to stretch it out into 8 eps, to stretch a movie into 8 eps, which is what we've been saying. The entire train storyline and the police storyline is meandering, and it's.
And then I guess I forgot we also have the secret spy group that's the like British MI5 agent and his crew that's trying to like go through the laptop. There's just a whole bunch of storylines that have no impact on the story.
And how do I say this? How
do I say this? It's bad.
It's not. It's not. It's not that. it's not that it's bad. It just does bad things. It's just not working. What I was going to say is more around the bad guys of this show, who we are finally getting revealed in this ep and the last ep. But for a plot that is run now for 7 episodes, for me not to really care about the villains in any sort of way, and also for the plot to be as meandering as it is, seems like a failure on 2 fronts. I wish they had allocated more time earlier to the villains and built something up around it to make me interested in the fight. For a lot of the episodes, it's been Sam against this blind, whatever's happening. We as the viewers know that Sam is not
Sam
the bad
the environment
guy. Sam as antagonist never lands with us as the audience.
Yeah.
So why even keep that in the pocket as if that's going to be a mid-season reveal?
Well, I think that's what's interesting. Like you just mentioned before we started that this was the penultimate episode, which
Correct.
I'm slightly blown away by that because the pace of the show does not make me feel like we just had a big layout of the final battle to come, or because every episode and every incident is treated like something that's serious that isn't that serious. And I think it's what's interesting about the first season is like we're trapped on this train or this plane in the first season, and somehow they make every episode very intense. The stakes are ridiculously high every time, and every character they introduce has a compelling story and a compelling piece. Even the lady who gets shot has like a compelling enough story. Like she's just this younger lady who was in a fight with the mom for a while, and then she saves the kid. It's just kind of like every little story that they told in that one little container episode was very compelling, to use the same word I've been using all day. This season, they haven't really introduced anybody on the train that matters at all. Like some of the most important characters that they showed have meant nothing. We've got kid who's terrified to be on train, who's apparently no longer terrified to be on train. That's his story. You have the nurse who's actually the bad lady, who we've got no idea what her motivation was to do what she did. We assume that she also has some family member who's been smuggled away. We've got drug dealer guy who's just I wear a leather jacket, so I'm chaos on the train. You've got Freddy, who might be the most compelling character, that you just feel bad for this poor vegan dude who got murdered. You've got the train operator, Otto, who might be the best acted character on the show, but very one note. And his whole thing was he gambled, I guess, and they used that to blackmail him. You've got the reporter lady that has met Sam before, that's on the train with him or wants an internship. I can't really tell you what her whole thing was. And then her story meant nothing to this point. From the get-go, you're oh, this is a character who's going to mean something. Means absolutely nothing the entire time. You've got CIA lady who's just dead now. You've got her husband who's just sad about her being dead, but no backstory on what that means at all. You've got the German super cop guy who just keeps showing up and doing nothing. You've got the whole train station of operators. So you've got the police agent, you've got the super manager, or the manager of the station, and then the lady who's working the night shift and now is responsible for talking to this guy. And then you've got the secret agents, and none of them matter at all, and none of them have gotten any real fleshed out story whatsoever. And then you've got his wife and and her relationship. They don't even they had this complicated stepdad situation that was going on in the first season that has nothing to do with this season anymore. And she's just off at this cabin and they talk on the phone, but there's no it's the relationship hasn't progressed or changed in any way. And it's not every interpersonal relationship doesn't have any actual story to it in this. And that's it's just a big wide miss.
So what you listed off a lot of characters.
A lot of characters that mean absolutely nothing.
Blacked out during most of it. But I think you're saying
I have more. There's the detective. There's the detective who they killed off. They invented a new character. Another like a I don't remember, was he just special forces, German special forces, who like figures out that this British guy is doing something weird and then they just kill him. But he has no story, so there's no compellingness to that guy being killed.
Right. And I think what you're saying for all of these supporting characters is what I'm saying for the villains. So it is a lot of the same problem across everybody. And you're right. The only character you're rooting for is Sam, and I think that's largely because of the goodwill that you get from him in season 1 and for the actor. Absolutely. So you kind of we're 7 hours into this, and it's like we don't have a very clear plot. We don't have a whole lot of characters that we're interested. How did we spend all of this time? And it's by setting up not characters, but just a series of red herrings.
Just a series of events.
Which we didn't need because this narrative, like the train, has always just been going in one single direction. We didn't need all of the rabbit out of the hats type of things. We just needed the hijack show. We don't need to know who is a bad guy and who's a good guy. Maybe one twist here, another twist in the back half. We didn't need, twist after twist after twist. It robs us of any
they're trying to
emotional connection to anybody.
The bad guys are coasting by on the fact that they're the same bad guys from the first season, but they're not really in charge of anything. There's somebody else in charge of whatever this is, right? Maybe it's the guy in jail, and that's going to be the twist, is it's the guy from the original Hijack who's trying to help his boss out. But I don't think that guy wants, unless he wants revenge because his brother died on the airplane. That's the only thing I could think is that he wants revenge on this other guy.
And that's not a compelling enough twist to hide that for 7 eps. Can you think of a compelling conclusion?
What I'm the most mad about is they killed his son for no freaking reason. Apparently the reason is because now they can use him because he's a mad obsessed person, and he showed his weakness at his son. But they killed his son for no reason in the story. They just took him out of the story as a reason he's obsessed with trying to find this guy, which he could have been just as obsessed because he was involved in a traumatic freaking airplane hijacking that was all about this guy. That's all it took. It's the same thing, but they're just no, we're going to kill the son who was kind of an important piece of the first season. Not that he was a huge character, but he was the piece that held this little family together, and now he's just not in the picture. And it's all just to be oh, he's an upset dad. And I don't know.
I do think you made an interesting point a couple of points ago about Marsha and Sam not really ever interacting outside of last ep, the phone call that she finally gets to make.
Yeah.
We don't have any, and I'm not necessarily a big flashback guy, but it seems like there'd be some sort of interaction. If she is so important to his motivation for the whole thing, it seems like there would be a little bit more there between that relationship that we could kind of hang on to. It seems odd for their only interaction across this whole season to be that one truncated phone call.
I also feel like if we're supposed to play this sad dad card and sad mom card, broken family card from the son dying, both of them are way too functional. None of that, Sam should be at his breaking point every moment of this episode, because he's just he cares way too much about people if he's doing this all for revenge, right? Which I know he's not doing this for revenge. His wife is in this situation, but I feel like the son was this connecting thread to his wife, and I don't feel like he cares about his wife if his son is dead. I just feel I don't know. Yeah. If you dig below the tiny bit of soil that is the surface of this show, even for a second, it falls apart. and that bugs me, I guess, because the first season was just so good.
It was just so
for
fun.
what you shouldn't for what shouldn't be good, and this one, like we got on the ride to ride the ride because they earned it the first season, but I just can't imagine what producer looked at the story after the script was written and said, "Yeah,
nailed it.
Let's shoot on location all over Europe. Let's get it done."
You mentioned there might be a big bad at the top of all this, and
there has to be somebody above this, unless it's just that British guy, and that would be disappointing.
Any interesting guesses that you have?
My most interesting guess is that it's the guy in prison from the original Hijack, and he's trying to get him in a situation that he can get revenge for his brother and family dying.
Pretty obvious pick.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be?
It would be.
Yeah. What if it's the train itself?
The train
has become sentient.
Now
and
you're ruining season 3 because the train is upset about
thing.
what happened to him. That's season 3, where the train's upset what happened to his back half, and now he's
right.
Train needs revenge.
You decoupled my ass. You exploded my ass and then decoupled it. I've been lonely and in pain, and now it wreaks havoc on the surface world, chasing the bus that we had talked about.
Yeah, I can't think. I'm trying to think of who would this. Like, there's somebody on, but I can't tell if it's like there's just a lieutenant acting to get this guy out, because before it was pretty clear that the 2 men that got rescued from jail were in on the entire plan and knew what the plan was. This one, he doesn't know why he's here and how they're trying to get him out.
This wouldn't work with the plot lines that we've seen, but would a good version of this be Marcia goes crazy and orchestrates it?
That was the other fun one I was trying to think of, is how you could somehow twist Marcia into this, or you could twist Sam into this, like he actually did orchestrate this whole thing. The other one that's obvious, which sucks, would be the the other girl that's on the train that's obsessed with Sam, or like knew who he was from the get-go and was like, "I want to work for you," or whatever. That's my only other guess. Is that like she got snubbed early in his career or whatever, but I just think all the characters are that bad.
What would it take for you to say yes to a season 3? Would you need to?
I'm already gonna watch season 3.
Okay, so just a simple announcement: we've greenlit season 3. You're in.
Yeah, as long as Idris Elba's still in. If they pull somebody else in, unless it's like out of left field, some actor like Ethan Hawke or something that I'd still be in.
What's your favorite Ethan Hawke?
Gattaca.
Yeah, I saw that in high school when my English teacher was hungover.
Gattaca is like perfect high school film.
Yeah.
To watch. Like, I don't know if it would hold up. It'd probably hold up, but not. It wouldn't be as mind blowing now as it was then, when you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
But it might hold up better now with the whole AI thing that we're dealing with. This whole.
What does that stand for? I haven't heard of it.
You haven't heard of?
I haven't heard of it. What is?
Artificial installations, I think.
Artificial installations. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Quick aside. My daughter's been talking about AI at school.
Okay.
They're having conversations about it because, at school they get on the computers and they Google, and it's something.
Right.
Yeah. So the teacher told my daughter that it takes 1 gallon of water for AI to answer a question.
Sure.
I won't stand behind that figure. I don't know. This is just what my daughter was told in elementary school. So we went to the doctor to get her ear looked at.
Yeah.
And the doctor says, "Hey, is it okay if AI takes notes and writes the first draft of the notes for after the call?"
Right. I believe it's called Dragon Notes or something, or Jump Speak. One of my doctors uses the same app, but yeah.
My precious daughter says, it takes 1 gallon of water for AI to answer a question. And the doctor looks so annoyed, looks so very annoyed. It was really funny. It made me so happy.
There is there is much to discuss about the water usage of AI. It is not as direct a link as people think it is, but it is absolutely not a good thing. There's much worse issues, I think.
Well, they just need to start using salt water because we got a bunch of that.
We got a lot of salt water. It's very corrosive, though. Oh, speaking of, did you see the Claude Code news today?
No, let's
talk about current events. They sent out an update overnight, like 1 a.m. They uploaded this update and accidentally also included the entire source code. So all of Claude Code's latest like AI, aka Anthropic's like AI agent is like it's the entire thing is just got leaked, and some people have already rewritten in Python, so it's like technically protected, like reproduced.
Like, whoops-a-daisy.
Yeah, basically they released their entire thing, and I'm not like an AI expert, but it is funny to see when they dug into it because they basically found that it's really not as complicated as they thought, or as much of a like secret sauce as they thought, but really the like secret juice that Anthropic's running off is essentially the like collars that they've put in place, which is like how to keep it in line. So like basically they just have lines and lines of code designed just to make sure that the agent does what it's supposed to do and doesn't just break off and do all sorts of random shit. And that's why like that's its secret sauce, not that it like has some sort of insanely complicated pieces to it. But
it sounds like me in my conversations with you.
That's fair. You got to keep me on track, which you're not doing.
Did you saw War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise?
Is that the radio one?
Well, Tom Cruise wasn't on the radio, but yeah, it was on the radio.
Yes, I did. I saw that one where he fixes a Mustang.
Sure, that's the part. Yeah, that's the memorable part. Do you remember when the aliens get out of their ships and everybody's really scared and then they die immediately? Spoilers for the movie that came out 20 years ago. They die immediately because they're not used
the cold
to our environment. Using that as an analogy, does it make you less fearful of AI knowing that we could just throw salt at it?
I am not fearful of AI as this like shadow thing
because of the salt thing.
The salt thing certainly helps. I am not afraid of AI because in all honesty, I'm much more just terrified of the they're doing. Like, I don't give a shit like one way or another about AI. It's not like there's a lot of people who have this like feeling about it being this absolute evil, and the fun metaphor I like is that they talk about it like this everybody thinks it's like the One Ring, right? And they're like, no, but I'm using it for good causes, and so it's not a good thing, but the whole point is that it corrupts. I don't actually think of it that way at all. I think it's a fun metaphor for sure. I think I agree with it on some senses when you're talking about generative like artistic AI, but I'm much more worried with just the way that corporations and the absolute rich are just using it as an excuse to like fire people and spend money to make themselves in this circle jerk of getting richer and richer, and just the people who are in charge and own it and are just creating a smaller superclass of human people, if you will.
So you want to try and salt Sam Altman.
Yeah.
Saltman, if you will.
Saltman. And with that,
stay gold.
Stay gold,